You know what sucks? Telling yourself you're gonna start something amazing. You hype yourself up. You swear this is it. You open your notes, you lace up your shoes, you stare at the blank dock, and then nothing. You stop. You close the tab. You walk away. Slowly, your motivation dies. And you start thinking that maybe you're the problem. Like there's something wrong with you. Because even though you love the thing you're trying to do, you still can't seem to stick with it. But the truth is, you're not lazy or unmotivated. You've just been taught to believe that every new habit has to start big. And that's wrong. Because your brain hates that. It hates feeling overwhelmed. But what if starting could be easy? So your brain can't even argue with it. That's where the 2-minute rule comes in. When you're starting a new habit, don't think big. Think small. So small that it feels effortless. Something that takes less than 2 minutes. That's it. Not a full workout. Not a grand routine. Just a tiny action that's easy to begin. You don't have to exercise for half an hour. Just drop down and do 5 push-ups. You don't need to finish a chapter. Just read 1 page. Don't aim to write an entire blog post. Just put down 1 sentence. Because in the beginning, it's not about results. It's about rhythm. It's about proving to yourself that you can start. When habits feel too big, you hesitate and overthink. But when they're small enough, you move. And movement matters more than mastery. What you're really trying to build isn't the habit itself. It's the habit of showing up. That's why these tiny actions are so powerful. They slide under the radar of resistance. Your brain doesn't push back because there's nothing to fight. You start and something shifts. 1 sentence leads to 2. 1 stretch turns into a full flow. 1 step out the door becomes a walk around the block. These little moments, the decision to open a book instead of your phone, to jot down a thought instead of scrolling, seem minor, but they steer your whole day. And you don't have to win the whole day. Just win a few of these moments. Those wins start to add up. One by one, they build momentum. That's where the 2-minute rule begins to work its magic. Not by changing everything all at once, but by changing what you do next. Because those small actions aren't just habits, they're gateway habits. The first step in a larger routine. You're not committing to the whole thing, you're just getting started. And most of the time, once you've started, it's easier to keep going. Every time you choose the small version of a habit, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. You're saying, this is something I do. This is someone I am. Over time, those votes add up. You start to believe it. It becomes real. But identity isn't built in the moment alone. It's built through repetition. And that's where rituals come in. Just simple, repeatable moves that help your mind get ready to follow through. Like sitting in the same chair to write, or stretching in the same spot every morning, or opening the same app at the same time. These small setups tell your brain it's time to begin, and when the signal is familiar, the actions become automatic. You don't have to hype yourself up or decide all over again. You'll just follow the pattern. That's why the best performers, writers, athletes, artists don't wait for inspiration. They rely on systems, and those systems start with rituals. So they build a tiny ritual. One that's easy to begin and easy to repeat. Do it again and again until it becomes part of you. Once you do that, once you start, you'll usually keep going. And over time, you can build it into something bigger, more consistent, more you. That's how habits are actually formed. You build habits using something called habit shaping. Think of it as leveling up in a game. You don't start on hard mode, you start at level 1. The one that feels almost stupid easy. Then once you can do that without thinking, you move to the next level. Take writing as an example. Your first goal might be to open your writing app every day. That's it. Not to write an article, just open the app. Once that's solid, your next level might be to write one sentence, then a paragraph, then maybe 20 minutes of focused drafting. And it might seem kind of lazy, but it's actually effective. Why? Most people fail at habits because they try to start too big, too fast. But when you shape habits slowly, step by step, you kill the friction. You make the path so easy that your brain stops freaking out. And habit shaping isn't just about doing more, it's about believing you can. Every small win is a vote of confidence. You're proving to yourself, hey, I can actually do this. I am doing this. So slow down. Respect the process. Crush one level before you move to the next. Not because you're pushing yourself, but because you've grown into it. And it always starts with something that feels stupidly small. Almost any big goal, getting fit, writing a book, learning a new language, can be broken down into bite-sized steps that take 2 minutes or less. That's the secret. So instead of telling yourself, I need to write a novel, just say, I'm gonna open the doc. Nail that and the rest starts rolling. Because if the habit never starts, it never grows. And sure, maybe writing one sentence doesn't feel like a lot, but it's better than not writing anything. 2 minutes of walking is better than sitting all day. 1 minute of focused breathing is better than continuing to scroll. Those actions are small, but they're real. They build consistency. They rewire your brain. They help you beat procrastination without relying on motivation. And most importantly, every time you show up, even if it's just for 2 minutes, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Write one sentence? That's a vote for being a writer. Stretch for 1 minute? That's a vote for being someone who takes care of their body. Read one paragraph? That's a vote for being someone who reads. It's not about intensity. It's about identity. Take a second right now and think of one thing you've been putting off. Not 10, just 1. Now shrink it down. What's the smallest version of that habit? Something that takes less than 2 minutes. Write one sentence. Open a doc. Set a 2-minute timer. Stretch for 30 seconds. Record one voice note. Now go do that. Not for an hour, not until it's perfect. Just for 2 minutes. Then do it again tomorrow and the day after that. Because once you get good at showing up, everything else becomes possible. You don't need a new planner. You don't need to read 5 or more self-help books. You just need to start. That's it. And 2 minutes is enough. Enough to shift your brain, to build momentum, and to create a habit that actually sticks. Because you're not the person who keeps waiting. You're not the person who bails after the first try. You're the person who starts, even when it's small. Especially when it's small. This is your reset. This is your 2-minute mindset.